Oh, you didn't mute, miss.
Tick-tock, time to rock. Good
Hello.
evening, good morning, good afternoon to everyone who's watching from all around the world. It's David Wood, your friendly neighborhood philosopher, with a
Apostate
prophet, a
prophets.
prophet, prophet of apostasy, the prophet who proves that Islam is false, because there is, in fact, a prophet after Muhammad. His name is the apostate prophet. How are you
Indeed.
doing? How are you doing,
Indeed.
AP?
Indeed. I'm doing very, very good. Thank you for this very dramatic introduction. I appreciate it. I hope I deserve it. And if I don't deserve it, then I will work for it. And yeah, good. How are you doing?
How are you holding up against
I'm
all the abuse?
I'm good. I'm very amused how everything has turned out so far. We have been it all started by just me making a debate challenge.
That's what set it off.
That's all
But
that's all it was about.
you didn't realize you didn't recognize the underlying powder keg.
Uh-huh.
You didn't realize everything that was brewing. Hijab was in full panic mode because of the holes in the narrative, and he's getting messages every day. Oh, I'm leaving Islam. I can't stand it. You guys are lying to me. And he's just looking for something. He's looking for something to take out his anger on. And all of a sudden, hey, you want to debate me? And then, roar, roar! You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's insane. He was like, he made a debate challenge to me before, like a long time ago, and I rejected him because he went very insane about it. He called me a cockroach. He insulted all my subscribers and followers. He insulted my family, my mother and sister, and all that. And I was like, hey, if you're going to talk like that, I'm not going to debate you. First communicate like a proper person to me, and. Anyway, after a while, I told him that that we can have a debate if he's going to act properly. And then he said that he cannot act properly. He will only debate me if he can insult me. And he's a man of his word, which is why he needs to he needs to commit to the agreement that he will be allowed to personally insult me. And I said, okay, fine, let's do that. So I challenged him to an online debate. He rejected again. I challenged him. He rejected. I challenged him. He made up excuses. I challenged him. He said, okay, only if I'm allowed to insult you. I said, whatever, just do it. I challenged him again. He said, okay, I accept it. And then he said, where are we meeting? And I said, what are you talking about? Where are we meeting? I said, online. And he was like, oh, look, he's making up excuses because he's actually scared of me. And then he burned it as quick as possible so that there is no room for negotiation left. Started saying I should commit suicide, started attacking my wife. So that's all it was about. And then it went into all the mess that we got into and until now, So it all started just with me saying, hey, I want to have a debate with you on the topic, is Islam the truth? And I told him, I know. I'm not going to make a claim that you're scared of me. I'm not going to make a claim that I will defeat you or anything else, or that I'm better than anybody else who has debated you. I just think that you would not debate this topic with anybody. And he was like, yeah, I debated Islam. I said, no, you didn't. You never debated Islam itself with anybody. You always debated other people's ideologies or God or this and that. You are scared of debating this topic. If you are not scared, let's do this. And people demanded it. His own audience demanded that he does it, but he didn't do it. And in the end, it led to him making veiled rape threats even so.
Yep. That's going to get him into some trouble here.
Sorry, I said the word, but...
What? No, not this. I didn't. This isn't monetized. At least I don't think this. No. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's coming up this week. I haven't been to his channel since I warned him to take down the tweets. So, but I'm assuming, given the personality type, that I'm going to have to be more forceful in order to get him to take them down. And I haven't heard anyone say he took the tweets down. So I'm assuming that he didn't take the tweets down, which means that I'm about to escalate my threat. People don't understand. People don't understand. I mean, the case I'm going to go ahead and make in a video, as far as people who don't understand what's going on. You look at how women are treated in the Muslim world. you can go to various surveys. You'll find that 11 out of 12 of the worst places in the world to be a woman are Muslim majority countries. You go to a different study by a completely different organization, you'll find out that 18 of the 20 worst places in the world to be a woman are Muslim majority countries. You look at what happens with, the grooming gangs, and, the case that we heard about most was in the UK, but I've been hearing stories about other places, Northern Europe, Australia, for years, where these young girls are being raped, groomed, things like that. And so you just look at the attitude towards them, and then you have someone like Muhammed Hijab come along who says, you know what, we're going to start an online campaign of harassing women. And people want to say, well, here's the basic response from Christians, non-Christians, everyone. Well, I guess we disagree, but it's not like we're going to do anything about it to make you stop, right? Because at the end of the day, there's one way to make them stop. It's in the Quran, right? It's in the Quran, Surah 6, verse 108. If people are going to heap abuse on your God and your religion, if you don't stop some sort of insulting that you're doing, you're supposed to, as a Muslim, stop. In other words, if they give you warning, because that's the historical background. The pagans said, if you don't stop mocking our gods, we're going to mock Allah. And the command came from Allah. All right, stop mocking their gods. Stop doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's the golden ticket right there, ladies and gentlemen. The plan the plan for making them stop is in there, and yet it's extremely difficult to sell this to Christians, right? To get Christians to get their minds around the idea, guys, if someone's doing some horrible behavior and he's a Muslim and you want him to stop, there's a way in Islam to make him stop. And the Christian response is, oh no, well, we don't want to hurt their feelings. And I can't get my mind around that. He's talking about starting an online campaign of harassing women and girls with violent sexual imagery of rape and torture, and he's focusing on normalizing this, so that he's telling all his, he's not doing it personally, he's telling everyone, all his followers, to go out and do this. So he's basically saying, guys, we're about to change things, we're about to change our approach. Now we're bringing in a new dimension where we heap endless sexual torture, abuse, bondage, all this stuff. We heap this abuse on women and girls and the internet. Now, I look at that and I say, well, if there's a way I can stop that, I believe I'm morally obligated to stop that. I believe I'm morally obligated to stop that. And lo and behold, I do know a way that I can stop that. And the Christian response is, well, yeah, I guess it's pretty bad if he's going to do that, but you can't make him stop if it's going to hurt someone's feelings. I'll never understand that. You can't stop a campaign of abuse if the way you stop it is going to hurt people's feelings. I'll never understand.
I find it insane. I have seen responses from Christians, from atheists, from ex-Muslims, people who are former Muslims who left Islam, who found that our response, that the response of disrespecting and eating the Quran was too much, went too far. Imagine this. I sat here. Like
corn on the cob.
And we have together read how Muhammed Hijab talked about harassing each of our wives and ourselves. And he was making excuses about harassing our wives. He was saying, well, they have public profiles, so we can't talk about them. But he was only talking about them because they happen to be our wives. And he wants to make the point that he can also attack our loved ones because we are attacking his beloved prophet, which is a very strange comparison to make, considering that relationship that a man has with a woman and that he cannot have with his beloved prophet. I don't want to think about that further. But so we are sitting here looking into how he harasses us and our loved ones, makes threats, makes veiled sexual assault threats, says even more things. We haven't even looked into half of the stuff that he said on his Twitter page. I should tell you to go into. Actually, you should open right now Muhammed Hijab's Twitter page and look at some things that he has said. Or I don't know if I can do that. I don't think I can.
Actually, yeah, I haven't gone on his page since the warning to him the other day. But I do. Well, first of all, check this out. I got a comment here from Hexitas. Said each white dot on AP's shirt represents a hole in the standard narrative about the preservation of the Quran. This would be a perfect time to say there's more holes in the narrative than more holes than see, those aren't really holes.
Yeah,
I can't say more holes than AP's shirt.
Yeah, more holes than dots on AP's shirt.
Yeah, so I did have these pulled up from the other day when we were discussing them.
So the point I was making is that he is attacking us, harassing us, making veiled sexual assault threats, dehumanizing people, and all that stuff. And people are not being outraged. And he's also going there while Ali Dawah is making this this declaration that all ex-Muslims should be killed for causing corruption. And people are not outraged about that, but people lose it because you ate a page of the Quran.
Yeah, I know. It seems like they have different standards. Which, to be fair, I understand a Christian having higher standards for a Christian than they would for a Muslim. But I mean, if you look at what's going on, I mean, he's starting this campaign of horrible abuse. You've got Ali Dawah calling for the death of apostates. The same Ali Dawah who said that, you know, if his daughter was 9 years old and got her first period, he'd tell her she's ready for marriage. The same Ali Dawah that pulled a chair out from under Hatun so she fell on the ground, and then when an old man came at him, he shoves the old man like he's about to hit this old guy. These guys just going around just complete like thugs and cowards. And if you say, guys, I actually know how to stop some of that behavior. I can make them stop. I can force them to stop. But you'll end up hurting people's feelings. How could you ever do that? Where did that come from? You know, I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking about the early church, right? The early church, the early Christians, they were nonviolent. You could torture them and kill them, and they wouldn't even fight back. So they were nonviolent. They're turn the other cheek. And so I'm thinking, well, what's the difference between them and Christians today? Because I look back at those guys, and there was nothing soft or weak about them, and yet they weren't fighting, they weren't violent, but there was nothing soft or weak about them. What is the difference between those guys back then and Christian men today? And the only difference I can really spot is that those guys weren't concerned about hurting people's feelings, right? They weren't concerned. They weren't concerned about being called names. They weren't concerned about any of the stuff that is used to control Christians today. That they're so terrified. They're so terrified of hurting someone's feelings or of being called in names or bigots or something like that. And that's why, I mean, just tons of Christians today. I'm saying Christians because Christians are the ones I'm primarily going to be dealing with here in the near future. But it's everyone across the board. I mean, let's face it. If dudes are walking among you, raping your sisters and daughters, and you won't do anything about it because you're scared of being called names, you got some serious issues. And it's a lot worse than me taking a bite out of the Quran.
Of course. I mean, the guy, Muhammed Hijab, that we are talking about mainly is somebody who has who has on his Twitter page also justified physical violence against people who defame, according to him, Islam. He posted a video of Tommy Robinson being beaten by somebody for saying a few bad words about Islam, for example, and that was like applauded by over 1,000 people on his Twitter page, by the way. And he was talking about how, he was basically implying that is how Islamophobes should be dealt with, that people who insult Islam, that people who disrespect Islam, and disrespecting Islam doesn't mean you attack Islam, it doesn't mean you actively criticize Islam and you are harsh against Islam. It basically just means you exist and you express why you don't believe in this religion and you express why you have problems with this religion. That is actually what this is about. I want people to understand this. You are not an Islamophobe and an anti-Muslim, whatever it is, if you are like me or like David Wood here, sitting and speaking out against Islam on a daily basis. You are simply an Islamophobe and an enemy of Islam if you just go out there and respond to Muslims who invite you to Islam by saying, I don't believe in Islam. I don't want to accept Islam. I don't believe in Islam because of this and this and this and this and this. If you count your reasons, then you are an enemy of Islam by default in Islam.
Yeah.
And if that is the case, then that means you're supposed to be punished for that. You're supposed to be physically assaulted. You're supposed to be subjugated, maybe probably enslaved, fought. So that is basically what this is about. And the reason why this is significant, why this is important, is that people like Dawah that we want to talk about today, and like Muhammed Hijab, these people are currently only doing this on a very soft level. So the disgusting thing that we have seen over the last few weeks is actually very soft in comparison to what these two individuals really want to achieve. Because what these two individuals and people like them want to achieve is to spread Islam to the country, to the UK, for example, and throughout the West. Muhammad Hijab said before, several weeks ago, that Islam will reach every household. It will enter every household, and people will come into Islam willingly. Or otherwise, and he didn't say the last part verbatim, but that's basically what is being implied. And the message here is that if it goes as these people want it to go, that people vastly in the West accept Islam, then an Islamic State must also be implemented according to the ideology of these two people and everybody who supports them and who works with them. And if an Islamic State is implemented, this is not a conspiracy theory, by the way, this is something that these people openly say, that a Muslim majority, Muslim people are supposed to install an Islamic government and Islamic laws, Islamic rules, meaning the United Kingdom, for example, would be an Islamic State in the future. And in this Islamic State, the killing of apostates like me would only be one of the very terrible things that would be taking place. Other than that, there would be lynchings of Islamophobes, regular Islamophobes. There would be the absolute oppression of women, the absolute revocation of basic human rights that we have today, the repression of other religions. You couldn't be, as Christians, for example, you couldn't go around and try to invite people to Christianity. That is not allowed. Dear Christians, that is not allowed in an Islamic State. A Christian is not allowed to go around and to do missionary work in an Islamic State. It is punishable by death, by war. It is still the case in many Islamic countries today. You are not allowed to have the same standards as Islam has with your religious buildings and your religious symbols. So these are just, the killing of apostates is only one thing that is there in this ideal Islamic State that Dawah and Muhammad Hijab advocate for, and they are advocating for it. They try to distance themselves from entities like the Islamic State or Al-Qaeda, but essentially, they aim for an Islamic State, an Islamic body, an Islamic system that is quite similar, under which you and I cannot breathe and cannot freely live. That's what these people want to do. And this is not a conspiracy. These people say it openly.
Mm-hmm. And so you pointed out, the situation that you're under a death sentence, I'm under a death sentence, Sam's under a death sentence. Probably a fair number of the viewers here are under death sentences for things they've said or for agreeing with us about various things. And yet, if we say we're opposed to the spread of Islam, we're opposed to something that admittedly is going to kill us, then we're bigots. But there's one more thing, namely that part of the reason that you don't have full Sharia penalties in lots of Muslim countries is because of influence by non-Muslim countries, because of influence by the West. In other words, slavery was ended in Saudi Arabia due to pressure by the United States, right? JFK made them end slavery, right? So a lot of Muslim countries understand that it's just embarrassing to them to be implementing certain laws when the entire world is watching them and laughing at them, right? I mean, Saudi Arabia didn't decide one day, you know what, we need to let women drive. It was a constant source of embarrassment that women weren't allowed to drive. So a lot of the changes that have come about in Muslim countries over the years have come about because of non-Muslim countries pressuring them. if the pressure goes away, because then those non-Muslim countries become Muslim countries, guess what? Oh, everything gets worse for everyone. Even in the Muslim countries, it doesn't get better. It gets massively, massively worse. And so it's just absolutely insane that when we say, guys, you really need to be careful about this ideology that you're dealing with here. Ah, you bigot, you racist, you Islamophobe. It's just funny because it's insane, because most Muslims in the West don't want to live under that. There are virtually no non-Muslims who would want to live under that. We don't want to live under that, so no one wants to live under that. And yet we just understand and admit that we don't want to live under that, and we're the bad guys because we're honest. Because we're honest, and we say there is no way we want to live under that. Check a couple questions real quick. Renee,
I don't know why my picture quality is bad, by the way. I look horrible. I don't know why. Because
you got a crap internet connection.
Well, I have the best internet connection in the world.
It ain't better than mine, son. You got Verizon Fios.
It's David Wood's fault. I have perfect equipment, camera, and internet connection, but obviously, David Wood has bad software, streaming software, which is why I appear not as good as I would normally appear. So I'm very sorry, everybody.
Hey, the apostate prophet's about as honest as Muhammed Hijab.
Yeah.
Renee asked, is there an update on the Apologetics Empire? People were inquiring where to sign up and help. Yeah, I wanted to pull this message up real quick. I do need to post an update. It's basically the situation, Renee, is I know I'm dealing with some pretty nasty things right now. And I just don't want to be launching Apologetics Empire videos and simultaneously videos where I'm eating the Quran. So I kind of have to mop up the situation with see, now you disappeared.
I'm trying to fix my camera.
Okay, good. Okay, well, you look clear now. So anyway, yeah, it is kind of weird to say, oh, here's this video where we go through how to reach Muslims with the gospel, and then people who don't understand the context see right beside it a video of me eating the Quran, right? Yeah, because here's the thing. When it's actually broken down to people, because most people just hear, oh, David Wood flipped out and ate the Quran. It's like, what? What's wrong with him, right? When you actually break it down, hey, here's some horrible behavior. There has to come a point in our history. Where we say, guys, you're trying to escalate your attacks on women, and you've been doing that for a long time. And no more. If there's a way I can stop you, I'm going to stop you. Oh, wait, there is a way I can stop you. And it's right here in your Quran. And I can actually use this to stop what you're doing. And if you refuse, other Muslims around you are going to force you to do it. In other words, Hijab can stomp his foot all he wants. Other Muslims will eventually make him. The question is, how far do we have to go? Once you break all of that down, hey, this isn't me simply insulting the Quran. This is me making sure that it doesn't become popular in the Western Muslim community to be attacking people's wives and so on just because they disagree with them and so on. So once you understand that, you basically have people who say, yeah, we do need to take a stand on this. So yeah, maybe I wouldn't do it, but yep, go for it, David. And then you've got people who would say, well, no, I actually don't agree with you, but I at least get why you're doing it, so I'm not going to condemn you. And then you'll have people who say, nope, under no circumstances, even if they were murdering all women, you would not desecrate the Quran. And I can't take people like that seriously. So, yeah, once you break it all down, if you disagree with me, then you disagree with me. But I know that a lot of people aren't going to see that. They're just going to hear eating the Quran, and to have that simultaneously with Apologetics Empire videos would be a little weird. So with that said, I don't think it's going to take long to make Hijab back down. I think probably this week I'll probably make 1 or 2 good videos explaining things, going through the objections so people understand what I'm doing, and then I'm going to show up on a live stream. Hijab will have had full warning. I will have said this. This is why I want to make the videos explaining the reasoning, so that Hijab has full warning. And then I'm going to show up here. I'm going to have a bottle of beer. I'm going to have a plate of bacon. I'm going to have a Quran. And I'm going to eat bacon, eat the Quran, swish it, wash it down with some beer, and constantly remind Hijab that the reason there are parts of the Quran, verses of the Quran, in a sea of beer and bacon in the belly of a man that he calls the most infamous Islamophobe in the world is because he will not delete a couple of tweets. And then the pressure is going to go on because, guys, that's not like the punishment. That's like the next warning, right?
Yeah.
There's the end goal. Just because, people, I used to keep my plans and plots secret, and I've realized that, I might as well just say them because a lot of those guys, the hijab-minded guys, they can't control themselves. So you can blurt out. You can tell them exactly what they're going to do. They don't have the self-control unless they're pressured to stop it. But the goal here would not be for me to insult the Quran. The goal would be not my goal. I don't want to be clear. None of this is my goal. It's if you do this, then the goal will be this. Ultimately, to get you to stop what you're doing, Hijab. But it will not be for me to sit around insulting the Quran. It will be to normalize that. Why? Because that's what Hijab wanted to do. Hijab wanted to normalize attacks on women. So great. If you want to do that, then I will normalize desecration of the Quran until you stop. But here's the thing that these guys never get. Once you sort of cross those lines repeatedly, you can't go back. I mean, I could go back, but once that's sort of become a thing that people do, it's kind of hard to go back. Back when you had the Jylens Postins cartoons and stuff, people weren't making cartoons of Muhammad. And so you could have a violent backlash and shut them down. Once they started everybody draw Muhammad Day and stuff like that, it's too late. There are cartoons of Muhammad everywhere. Now we can put cartoons of Muhammad in our video thumbnails. No one's dying over it. It became normal. So that's what I will do with desecrating the Quran if Hijab does not simply delete some tweets. And it's on him. It's on him. Go ahead.
I do that in my free time, by the way. I don't just do it because I want someone to back down or because I want to make a point. I just do it for fun. In my free time, sometimes I eat the Quran. I put it into my soup and eat the Quran. I sometimes play fetch with my dog. I throw the Quran at my dog, catches the Quran and brings it back.
Do you?
Sometimes I use it for different reasons. I don't know. I have many Qurans at home. I always have this Quran supply, these Qurans being shipped to me because I always run out of them because I do all kinds of recreational and different things with them. That's what I do with my life.
Yeah,
now that I'm a hateful ex-Muslim.
And here's what's amazing: when I'm doing this stuff, I'm going to be, oh, David, this is how you go. This is not how I want to go, guys. Even when there was all the draw Muhammad cartoon things and stuff like that, did you see me participating in this?
No.
I don't want to do that. I thought it was important that people were doing it, but other people were doing it. I didn't need to do it. So this is not the way I want to go. I like a sort of equilibrium that we've reached where we criticize Muhammad and the Quran, and they get to respond, right? They get to respond and they get to criticize our positions. That's how it goes. When one side says, nope, we're going to do a massive escalation here and think that that they're going to get away with that. When they've got the apostate prophet, the Dizzle, Sam Shamoon, they got some people with some serious mental health issues.
Whoa. By the way, I was going to release a video tonight. I was going to publish a video tonight. It is about the whole mess. It is about the contrast between what Mohammed Broomhead did and what you and I and Abdullah Samir did on our last live stream. I wanted to release that. It was very good. And at the beginning of that video, I also did something. I did my own part. I did something to the Quran. And guess what I did to the Quran? I wanted to do something that was better than what David Wood did to the Quran. So I recorded a video and I started doing things to the Quran. And I will publish that video.
You're starting to scare me. And guys, just to let you know how much I do not choose this path. I was in Ethiopia I don't remember what year this was, 2013, 2014. I was in Ethiopia, and it was a conference of Christians, and it was Christian leaders in Africa, so like pastors, also like, you know, police chiefs and judges and so on. But they weren't just from Ethiopia; they were from all kinds of countries. Sudan. There were a couple people from Somalia and so on. So there were people from all over the place, and they got together. And there was, I won't mention his name, but there was a Christian speaker. I've only met him once, but there was a Christian speaker, and we were sitting in the back, and we were listening to some of the most horrifying things. You can't find this stuff in horror films, when people are sharing stories about the impact of Islam in their area. So there would be people trying to force families to convert to Islam. One woman, the family wouldn't convert. So the husband had his throat cut, and they force-fed the woman the blood of her own husband, ordering her to convert. And after that, she basically went insane. So she went into some sort of insane frenzy until she died as well. But we're sitting back listening to story after story of that. And the guy I was sitting with, whenever they would tell one of these stories, he had his Quran there that he was teaching with, and he would take the Quran and he would just toss it on the floor. He wasn't trying to draw attention to himself. We were in the back, but he would toss the Quran on the floor and he would use it as a footrest. And even in spite of all of that, I was thinking, well, you know, come on, you don't want to set a bad example by propping your feet on the Quran when we're hearing these disgusting stories about the impact of Islam. Well, we've reached a point where, all right, here's a line. I'm ready to die. I'm ready to die at this line. Ready to die on this hill. You're not going there. So take your tweets down. Otherwise, gonna be messed up.
Absolutely. I wanted to publish my video tonight, but I didn't publish it because I was aware that we're going to have this live stream, and I thought if I publish a video, then everybody will be watching my video. No one will come here to watch David Wood's live stream, because obviously if I publish something and David Wood publishes something, then people will obviously prefer my channel and watch that. No one cares about what David Wood does.
This video is titled Ali Dawah's Sharia Execution Fantasies. It should be called The Apostate Prophet's YouTube Fantasies.
Good point. Good point.
No, you know though, if we because I was making a video along the same lines, basically saying that Muhammed Hijab is an apostate because he's you can't insult something as sacred as this, when his prophet is smashing people's idols. That was part of his definition of himself. What are you saying? I'm sent to smash the idols. What? Wait, you're smashing idols, and then what am I supposed to do with this crowd? Oh, you better respect it. Hypocrisy. But maybe we can arrange it to where we release them around the same time, and then we can link them to each other. Something like that.
We could do it. We could do that. Some people are asking me in the live chat if I'm going to debate. Inspiring philosophy. I haven't shared that publicly. I don't know who did, but yeah, we were currently having talks. We are currently having talks to possibly sit down and have a live discussion. It would be more of a discussion than a debate, than a formal debate. But so basically about God, about whether God exists or not.
Hey, you need to be careful with that dude.
I know.
That dude has a weird mind. I think he's got some like autistic savant abilities or something like that. But that's that dude. He borders Sam Shamoon and Anthony Rogers in his ability to absorb information. My mind's like this cup, right? It's full of water. You can pour some more in, but some's gonna spill out, right? Whereas they just keep absorbing more and more information. But it would be interesting, and it's cool to have these kind of crossovers, and it's cool to have discussions for examples to people like Muhammed Hijab. Hey, this is how the rest of the world does it. This is how the rest of the world just gets together, and no one has to freak out. One more comment to Renee here. So Renee, I have a couple of admins for the website. I don't know if you're busy, but basically I'm looking for people that I've seen a lot over the years. looking for admins. So it'll be, people are going to be sending in their stuff. And so it's basically keeping track of people, because I want to focus on the content of, the videos and so on. So I don't want to have to be doing the technical stuff, because that's all the stuff that I suck at. I've always been horrible at websites, anything like that. So the idea is if we have like 4 or 5 admins, then it's not a lot of work. Basically checking the messages, seeing if anyone needs any heads up or something, but also when people are sending their videos in, making sure that everything's in the right place and so on. So if you want to do that, let me know. So we're looking for a few admins. And guys, if I don't know you, do not message me and say, I'd like to be an admin. No, I do not trust almost anybody with this stuff, because there's all kinds of personal. So if I haven't seen you for the past few years, then you may be the best person in the world. Never mind. If you think you'd be a good admin and you're good with websites and stuff, you can go ahead and send me a message, and we'll see what happens.
I will be a good admin, but I don't want to be. So
I would be a terrible admin. I just know I'd suck at it, so I definitely don't want to be. And Poledog here says, what's Sam's response to Mimi's counter offer? The people want to know. We said it. We said there's no counter offers. It was a completely reasonable offer. He wants a stupid fight that we don't want. We want 3 debates. If you're talking about a fight, Sam's actually going to have to hit the gym and be going through physical training and so on, because he's going to take it seriously. So Hijab, all you have to do is 3 debates. You don't have to travel. We're going to do it right. We're going to do it right here on my channel. So no counter offers. Yes or no?
Think about this. Seriously, think about this. What is happening here? Muhammad Hijab has a problem with Sam Shamoun, with what Sam Shamoun says about Islam, and with Sam Shamoun's position as a Christian against Islam.
I will fight you.
With his criticism of Islam, but what he wants to do is to have a physical fight with Sam Shamoun. He wants to beat Sam Shamoun up. So the big Muslim apologist here, the big Muslim apologists that young Muslim people currently like so much, finds the appropriate response in beating up somebody who criticizes Islam, who has an issue with Islam. That's what he wants to do. He even made the same implications to me that I would neither win a verbal nor a physical debate against him. And I was like, what are you talking about, man? Like, I'm not going to fight you. Are you stupid? But that's how he wants to defend Islam, through physically fighting and beating people up.
Yeah,
as if that's. You're making our point.
And so he's making a point about what his ideology does to the human mind.
Yeah.
But what's amazing is he could do the 3 debates. Sam will obliterate him in those debates, and then I'm like 98% sure Sam would just knock this dude out in like 2 punches. I know a little bit too much about Sam from his. Never seen him. Well, I have seen him. Sam can kick you right in the head. You don't think it. You think, hey, look at this. You look at this slow doofus right here. Sam can kick your head right off. No idea why he's in like that, but he is. So anyway, but just imagine. Sam could crush Hijab in 3 debates, and then just imagine a world where Hijab knocks Sam out. Then Hijab's followers would just, ha-ha! Our guy's strong! Hijab's strong! Your guy weak! Ha-ha! Disprove Islam true! And that's how they would be. And so that's why I'm not entirely opposed to it, because it is, MMA, again, is a sport. So as long as it's treated as a sporting event and not like a street brawl, don't want to see it. But if that's what it'll take to get this guy to debate these issues, then, so be it. But... all
they want to do is show that Allah helped Muhammad Hijab beat up Sam Shamoun, the enemy of Islam. That's what they want to do. That's
the goal, right? That's the goal.
Yeah.
Ha! Disprove you wrong. Ha! And I've seen several people say Hijab and Ali Dawah ran away from Hatun. I'm guessing that there's been video posted today that I didn't see of them running away, which is amazing because she posted a video yesterday. She posted a video yesterday where apparently like British agents or something came to her and said, it's too dangerous, you need to stay away from Speaker's Corner. And then what happens? She goes to Speaker's Corner and they run away from her. So think about this, right? You got guys going to the British government. Will you protect us from Hatun? She keeps exposing our claims. Will you tell her not to come? Or we'll hurt her. And then she goes anyway, and then, Hatun is here. This is this big, tough religion that's going to heap abuse on women because we strong. Oh, we strong. Oh, no. There's like 80 of us here, and we're terrified. There's like 80 of us here. There's like 20 full-time apologists out there, and we're scared because Hatun is coming. Oh, man, are we learning about this ideology, ladies and gentlemen? Are we learning something?
You're finished, boy. I'm your teacher, boy. And then they run away. Amazing. Brilliantly amazing. Someone is saying, by the way, that we should be having a debate. The issue is that you and I should have a debate. I think that's what
we are. And again,
I challenged David Wood to a debate, but unfortunately, David Wood is too scared of the outcome of a debate between him and me, which is why he's trying to just run from the debate. And I'm almost scared that he will start telling me to commit suicide, like Muhammed Hijab. But I know that David would.
You need to kill yourself before the debate. You need to slaughter yourself. Jump out the window. Golden showers. Ooh, I'm the champion of Christianity. Talking about golden showers. That's how we roll in Christianity.
You need to visit my live stream sometime. You need to visit a live stream of me and start talking about the GIMP golden shower. I don't want to give away these terms.
What
people probably don't know about it. I don't want to inform people about this stuff.
Yeah, and it's here's what sucks. Can you imagine someone who has no idea what we're talking about? They're like, oh, let me check out this awesome discussion between this Christian and this atheist. Golden showers. What? Whoa, my goodness! What is this? What is this horrible myth?
Oh yeah. Yeah. People come to a Christian channel and hear about golden shower.
Al-Masihi said, so how many Christians complain, David? I mean, lots of people. I mean, most people who normally follow my stuff weren't complaining. But yeah, I did get, I mean, you could go through the comment section. You'll see lots of Christians who were complaining. James White complained. I heard Pulpit and Pen, that Attack Dog Ministry, made something. I haven't checked this stuff out, but I might, just to make some points. And all right, hey, let's just recap. Let's go back to
wait. What were we saying about? You were saying something before I messed it up. Oh yeah, the debate. We are going to have a debate. We just we need to arrange that, but we will have a debate about.
Yeah. And I've pointed out before that the delays are entirely on me. It's basically at any given time, I've got between 3 and 5 projects that I'm trying to get organized, and I need to finish 1 or 2 of them in order to start a new one. So, right now, trying to get the Apologetics Empire rolling and things like that, and trying to knock out a couple of these video series and things. And then I've got this whole hijab situation and a few things going on behind the scenes as far as I'm training some people on using YouTube and using apologetics on YouTube and so on. And so it's kind of I could jump right into it and just make a video off the top of my head, but it would kind of suck. And the idea was we wanted like our best stuff and to do it carefully, like do it like we would normally do a video, like put a lot of thought and get everything exactly right, versus, an off the cuff debate where you're, arguing and stuff like that. And then, you're always, you afterwards you say, gosh, I wish I'd said this, or gosh, I wish I'd said that. Whereas, we're going to stretch it out. We're going to stretch it out so that everything is exactly the way we want it. But yeah. As far as this, as long as I get this hijab thing out of the way, and then I've got the material ready for probably 10 videos of the Apologetics Empire. So if I can get the hijab thing out of the way and then jump back into the Apologetics Empire, record like 4 or 5 of those ahead of time, then there's some leeway to say, hey, P, let's go ahead and start. But yeah,
no, I just always get a pleasure out of a kick, maybe a dopamine hit out of it when you say that the delay is because of you, because normally I'm the most disorganized person in the world. So it's really surprising actually that the delay is not because of me, but
That
rather
shows
because of
you.
David Wood. I
That
want to
shows you
point
how.
that out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that shows you how disorganized I am. No, it's just, the real problem is like I massively underestimate how long it will take me to do things.
Me
And
too,
so
me
no
too.
matter what is this, yeah, I can do that too. And oh yeah, I can do that. And oh, okay, I can do that. And hey, why am I sleeping 3 hours a night trying to get all, trying to just keep up with all this stuff that I signed on to.
Yep. Okay, let's recap. What were we
I wanted to recap this Muhammed Hijab tweet about your wife.
Oh yeah.
So kind of two things. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we've read these a couple of times already. But there's this one and one more where he tries to, popularize this with his fans. He has a ton more tweets. I didn't even read most of them carefully. I just kind of skimmed. And this is one where this is the one that convinced me to take a bite out of the Quran, right? Because this is another one where I wasn't reading it very carefully, wasn't paying attention to what he was saying here, and AP pointed out what he's actually saying. So notice he says so notice this is a response to Mrs. Apostate. So there's a pic there with a message from Mrs. Apostate, and this is brilliant by Hijab how he does this, because he's using all language of rape and torture, which would get him banned if he were saying we're going to rape and torture you. But he'll put words in there to show he doesn't mean it literally, but he wants the imagery in there anyway, and so he's safe. So notice, when these anti-Muslim attention whore Islamophobes need to get on their knees in intellectual submission before they are whipped by freedom of speech by the Twitter Muslims, and they reluctantly open their mouth in protestation to find they have been defiled by the truth. So notice everything he says right there. Whore, get on their knees in submission, gonna be whipped by Muslims, and you're gonna open your mouth and be defiled. And then he just adds all of the words defiled by the truth, open your mouth in protestation, whipped by freedom of speech. He adds all the words to make it basically okay to be on Twitter.
Let me read this without his little additions that try to make this appropriate. Let me read this without that. When these anti-Muslim whores need to get on their knees in submission before they are whipped by Muslims, and they reluctantly open their mouth in protestation to find that they have been defiled. That is how this is supposed to be read, but he adds these additional words to make it look like he's actually just talking about, freedom of speech and anti-Muslim, rhetoric and responses by freedom of speech loving Muslims. What he's talking about is actually a sexual violation of people who are against Islam. And in this case, he's speaking of my wife, and he's only targeting my wife because she is my wife, because he has a problem with me, not because she happens to be somebody who said something about Islam, because there are tons of those people around.
Mm-hmm. And then, so you had that, and then the one on top.
And this stuff, there has been no response to this. Like, more than 400 people have liked this so far. More than 400 of his Muslim followers have liked that so far. No one has come out and condemned it, although many people who liked it understood what he meant and started whoa, I see what you did there, and people did that. But then people are protesting David Wood eating the Quran. So let's go on.
Yeah, and then so the one at the top there. I call upon all of the Muslim Twitter soldiers to work within the full scope of the law. So basically just what Muhammad Hijab did there. In other words, he took his rape and torture imagery, but made it legal. To work within the full scope of the law to create maximum damage to the cause of the apostate prophet and his wife. They are demoralized and on the ropes. Do not let the weak-minded Muslims deter you. Finish them. And so in the context here, it's, hey, I've set you an example of how to do this, of how to heap this kind of abuse on people's wives. And now I'm calling on the Muslim Twitter soldiers to go out and do the same. And so he's trying to start a movement here on the internet. And once again, this is just amazing, right? This guy's popular, and he's been getting more popular over the past couple of years. And he's one of the most popular people, one of the most popular Muslim apologists online. And he's partners with another Muslim, Ali Dawah, who's also one of the most popular Muslim YouTubers. And here they are. You've got Ali Dawah running around saying, apostates are going to be killed, and you've got Muhammed Hijab saying this is how we're going to do things. We need to really crack down on women and start heaping more and more sexually explicit abuse. We need to start heaping this on them. This is going to be the new way. And if you got a problem with it, there's only one thing you can do. You can degrade our religion so much you force us to stop, according to Surah 6, verse 108 of the Quran. But we know you're not going to do that because I want to say what they say is we're cowards, right? Those are the messages I get. I can actually pull some up and read some if I want, but they say you guys can't stand against us because you're cowards. That's their view, right? You guys will not stand up. You guys have all of these rights that you believe in, freedom of speech and this and that, but when we put the pressure on you, you always back down. You're cowards, right? And so when one of us says, nope, we're not going to back down, we're going to stand our ground, then it's everyone stabs us in the back. How dare you? How dare you, you brute! You evil brute! Wow.
It's funny. So dear Muhammad Hijab and people like him and people who follow him who think that you can trust your mob culture and your attacks, and I don't care about your muscle power. I don't care about your manliness, about your manhood and all that stuff. I'm in America. Mm-hmm. I have the means to defend myself. So I just want to put that out there. I really couldn't care less about your muscle power, guys, people who think that they could try to harass me or threaten me or anything. You should be aware of that. We have more rights here in America that people like that should be aware of. By the way, David, I sent you 3 screenshots on Skype.
Why do people send me stuff on Skype when I do not know how to use it? Let me see. I'm going to try and click on some of this stuff and hope that it doesn't delete the call. Nope, that just put me back to... Oh, wait, I see a chat button down here.
Yeah. Because we are only talking about me and apostates and all that stuff, but there is more to that. I mean, people like to relate to what is going on here, right? And the average person, the average non-Muslim disbeliever or Islamophobe or whatever it is, which would be applied to everybody most people who are probably watching this stream right now. These people would also like to see how Muhammad Hijab's speech and the speech of other people affects them. And here I have sent you some screenshots in which Muhammad Hijab said certain things that not only affect me and apostates, but also you and everybody out there.
So you want me to pull these up, right?
Probably, yeah.
All right, that's going to take a little while. Hang on.
It's fine. If I could share my screen, I could have just shared it right now, but I don't think I can do that from here.
Yeah, you can. Oh, here we go. All right. So now I just have to go over here and then import them into the system. Thank you for making this as difficult as possible. All right. I got one up. That's a record for me of speed. So Muhammad Hijab, this is the one I believe certain anti-Muslim women would wish they lived in the medieval period, a period where if a war was won by the opposing side, it was conventional that people could be taken as booty. Some historical accounts actually say some women would dress up for the captor. Now,
are you aware of what is being said here?
Oh, I'm aware of this.
Muhammad Hijab is tweeting this as a response in the middle of his frenzy because he's angry at anti-Muslim women or anti-Islamic women who don't like Islam and who speak out against Islam. He's mentioning people's wives and women themselves And in the middle of all of it, he makes this tweet and says, "I believe certain anti-Muslim women would wish they lived in the medieval period, a period where if a war was won by the opposing side, it was conventional that people could be taken as booty." What he's implying here is that he and his fellow Muslim warriors, Twitter warriors, as he put it earlier, are at a war with us, anti-Islamic people, and what he actually thinks is that the women on our side maybe just want to be captured by those brave Muslim men, including him, and be sexually subjugated and used by the Muslims. This would include every single anti-Islamic woman here who is maybe here in this chat, who is currently watching this, and who publicly posts about things. So he's basically saying that he would like to, that he has some interest, or that these women have some interest in being captured and sexually violated by him and his fellow warriors.
Now, notice the mindset, right? It's the mindset is deep down. You want one of us, right?
Yeah.
You Western women, you want one of us to come and defile you. It's amazing. And keep in mind, this is now. I mean, he lost his spot with Iera, presumably because of his antics, but he's with another organization right now. He said he's going to adhere to their code of conduct, but apparently they do not see a problem with him saying, I think these anti-Muslim women, deep down, they want us showing up and raping them.
Yeah.
And yet, if we say there's any problem, with Islam's view of women, we're the bigots.
We're just being Islamophobic here. We're just completely misunderstanding what is being said. We're just Islamophobes.
Yep.
Do you have the other ones?
Yeah, I saved it, then it didn't pop up. Trying to figure out why.
Yeah, so he basically went on many rants along these lines, but as David is trying to set this up, and maybe he will find a way to save the day. I didn't even send you other ones. Okay. In some of these, he even said something like, he said that he posted a Quran verse, which was about how Allah places terror in the hearts of the enemies of Islam. And he was here talking about how he said in one of these, some enemies of Islam who I have been intellectually bullying think I care about them and how they feel. I believe they are a category of people that should only know one side of me, the mighty side. As for those who come with calm energy and humble spirit, we reciprocate. But and then he posted a Quran verse which was about how Allah causes fear in the hearts of the non-Muslims, of the enemies of Islam, and that this is basically what his struggle is about, to terrorize the non-Muslims and the disbelievers, the enemies of Islam.
I have the cattle one on the screen.
They're
like cattle.
They are like cattle, and there is, and you see there's cattle on the picture. This is in reference to a Quran verse.
That is definitely cattle.
Yeah. And this is in reference to several Quran verses, several parts in the Quran, in which the Quran describes those who reject Islam, who reject the message, as cattle. If you know the numbers of one of those, David, go ahead. But I could just look it up. They are like cattle, rather they are more astray. That's approximately how it usually goes in the Quran. That is mentioned several times, I believe at least 3 times in the Quran, including in chapter 7, verse 179, where it says, they have hearts with which they do not understand, eyes with which they do not see, and they have hearts with which they do not, ears with which they do not hear. Those are like livestock, rather they are more astray. It is they who are the heedless. In several other parts in the Quran, it refers to the disbelievers and those who reject Islam as just they are cattle, rather they are more astray, meaning they are actually worse than cattle. And this is what he posted in the middle of everything too, without of course saying it fully, because if he posted the full context, it would get him in trouble, which is why he only posted they are like cattle. And he's dehumanizing every single one of us here.
Sea Eagle Bird says, do cows eat Qurans? Sea Eagle Bird, we may actually need to find out. That will come down to Muhammad Hijab. That will be his choice on whether we find that out. But yes, if he does not take down certain tweets, we're going to find out whether all kinds of animals, either if you just give it to them, like there are animals that will just eat it, like a goat, and other animals you might have to mix it in with some stuff. But we are going to find out. This will again all be on Hijab. So let's see what we have here.
It's his fault.
Let me see if I can move this over here. All right, so now you're on the screen here. But so Muhammad Hijab says, listen, apostates. That means you, AP. You can continue playing the victim as if someone cares. How dare you play the victim when we're heaping abuse on you, starting campaigns of threats and intimidation against your wives, and we've agreed that we're going to kill you once our numbers get big enough. But stop playing the victims. When what's hilarious is these are the guys who complain about being victims more than anyone else on the planet.
Yes, right? That's what I say all the time.
All right, let's see. Go back to following our every move like the fanboys you are, and we will confront your slave masters whilst you spectate. I know you are burning inside. Die in your rage, said the most rage-filled person in the world. And then a response came, what slave masters? And he said, liberal white man. Liberal white man.
By liberal, he means basically every white man that is currently living in this liberal Western system. So liberal refers to liberal democracy, not to liberal politics or liberal parties. Mm-hmm. So what he basically means the white people.
The white man. So, I mean, if you're talking white, I mean, he does serve the whitest prophet of all time. A guy who bought, owned, sold, and traded black African slaves. And
he's basically implying that we apostates, those who have left Islam, are slaves, that we enslave ourselves, that he said that before. Al-Dawah also said something along those lines before. We are being enslaved by white people in the West. We are accepting this slave status, slave position, and he and his fellow Muslims and Muslim apologists and Muslim warriors will be here confronting our slave masters, which are the white men, as we watch and burn inside and die in our rage. Which is, I mean, just look at the sentiments that are going on here, that are being held here. Can you imagine people talking like this? Can you imagine people of other religions, of other ideologies talking like this? People would be outraged to see stuff like this being said publicly. Mm-hmm. But here we have these prominent voices, these prominent apologists of Muslims who call us slaves and who say that they will confront you white people, basically fight and confront you white people who are our slave masters, while also implying that he thinks your wives and your women would like to be captured and raped by them, that you are all less than cattle, worst of creatures, and that he would also like to see our wives in submission being sexually violated by his Twitter soldiers, by his Muslim Twitter soldiers. This is the sentiment that we are dealing with.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking. Lots of people keep pointing out in the chat that they ran from Hatun, and so I'm searching for videos about Speaker's Corner today. And Soko Films has a video: Muslims refusing to defend the Quran, and Hatun is right there in front of Muhammad Hijab and Ali Dawah. So everyone be sure to check that out after we're done here. Soko Films, Muslims refusing to defend the Quran, Hatun, Speaker's Corner. We'll check that out. Matter of fact, maybe we can start tossing in the link at the end.
All right.
All right. Did we want to... we were supposed to talk about Ali Dawah. We've been talking more about hijab since he's been throwing the most tantrums over the past couple days. Did we want to check out the infamous clip of Ali Dawah?
Oh, do you have that ready? Do you want to play that? Or?
Yep. Yeah, we can watch it.
Oh, okay.
I'm easy like Sunday morning, man.
Whoa.
All right, let's check this out.
Woo.
Ali Dawah.
This is a part of our religion. There's a reason to it. Yeah, there's a reason why there's a capital punishment, because people like you, little weaklings who leave their religion and cause corruption in the land by spreading it, the capital punishment in Islamic law would be applied to you. We have no doubt, and we're proud of that. Yeah, capital punish will be applied in an Islamic state. Yeah, not individuals going and doing it themselves like idiots. Yeah, no, under an emir, it is done. Yes, and we, you know what, we'll be watching. We'll be watching, because if you're going to cause corruption in the land, that's going to cause more damage to the society as a whole, because the Sharia didn't come to protect an individual's right. Hey, can I drink alcohol? Yeah, sure. Drink alcohol, run someone over, kill them, set all this kind of chaos. No, Islam says the right of the community is greater than you individual wanting your right to freedom, which is BS. Absolutely BS. Yeah? Don't get me started. So it just backfired on you.
It's interesting to see this idiot's view of what a right. We don't believe that you have your right to drink alcohol and drive and kill somebody. I don't know anyone who thinks that you have that right.
That's what he cites as reason, as example. That's not very bright.
Yeah, you see, Islam's better. Islam is better. Islam is better. We don't have that. Yeah. We don't have that. We don't have that. You think you have the right to go around driving, mowing down kids in your vehicles like you're some sort of jihadi going out with vehicular jihad? We don't do that. We don't have that right.
We are proud of that. We're proud of that.
These guys produce the only people in the world who deliberately go and mow down people with cars.
I know the irony.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing.
So
it's amazing.
Ridiculous. That's what he comes up with, the irony.
This is a comment, because I made a quick video about Ali Dawah's comments there. And this is from a Muslim, Islam Saiful. He says, as a Muslim, I want capital punishment for apostasy. I guess I just have to read it with the mistakes. As a Muslim, I want capital... This could be Ali Dawah, given his level of grammar and spelling. It says, as a Muslim, I want capital punishment for apostasy by under a emir, ruler of the land. Majority of Christian are no longer men anymore. They became soft, cold when there are God, Jesus, called a gay man or bastard or his mother done adultery. Christian do nothing. They just put lipstick on their lips and sit down at home like girls. And we are Muslims. We don't tolerate any apostasy on Prophet Muhammad or Jesus or Moses. So the point he's making here is, hey, this is a sign of our strength. Yes, we'll kill you for apostasy. We will do that. Unlike you people who are totally weak and people can do whatever they want to insult Jesus or insult Mary, and you do nothing except put on lipstick and sit down at home like girls. And what's amazing is they're saying this, right? They're saying this is how you guys are. In other words, he's saying we only respect strength and you guys are weak. And when I say, hey, I'm actually going to show some strength here, I'm not backing off this. To the death, I'm not backing off this. And then Christians, no, David, you need to not just keep your mouth closed. That's the way to win their hearts. That's the way to win their hearts, man. You just show them how weak and timid you are, and that'll impress them, and then their hearts will melt. And they'll convert, man. They'll convert. I've never seen it work. Never seen it work. But in my mind, I think, man, that's the way to reach Muslims. James White, man.
I really want to see that Christian man who sits at home and puts lipstick on and sits there like a girl. It doesn't work.
They're like cattle, work. Man.
It doesn't work to approach these people that way. If you go to these people and you start talking about how you just want to be peaceful to them, and you just want to make them understand this and understand that, you will get the same response from these people. You will get the same response that you are a bunch of weaklings, that you have lost your faith, that you are idol worshippers, that you are this and that, and you are godless, and you should you cause corruption in society, you cause corruption in the world. That's the response that you will get. These people are missing the plot. They're missing the point. Ali Dawah here is saying that in an ideal Islamic state, I should be put to death because I cause corruption in society, and it shouldn't be done by some random people, running around and killing people because those people are idiots. And he needs to emphasize that so he doesn't get in trouble, because he would otherwise be categorized as a terrorist or a terrorist advocate. Although he is, by definition, right now with the video that he has put out, an extremist in the UK, and he should have known that before he put out that video. He's in trouble now. The issue is that
they'll let him slide.
I don't know. Yeah, I would say so, but I will push. But the issue that is happening here is that Dawah is saying that he would have me. He's speaking about me here in this case. This was a response to me. He's speaking about me and people like me who cause corruption in society, that he would have them executed under an Islamic state, under an Islamic ruler, and the Muslims like him, they would proudly and happily watch as this is happening, because I deserve my punishment, my just punishment, which is death. But what he's talking about here is that he's not talking about a hypothetical situation, a dream world where his Islamic rule applies. No, he's talking about an actual time that he wants to see in the future. He wants to see an Islamic state in the future, in the UK, in the world, where such laws are applied. He's really not talking about some fantasy. He's talking about what he actually wants. And in that state that he actually wants, that he not only wants in the UK, but also wants in the US and in every Western country out there, he would be killing everybody who leaves Islam like me, and he would also be silencing every single one of you and punishing everybody who speaks out against Islam. That is what they teach. And one more thing to add. I had a recent discussion with a guy called Daniel Hikikiju, who is a Muslim apologist, who in his discussion with me talked about how he wants to bring slavery back, because slavery belongs back into society because it is good for society, and the inflow of slavery would be by the Islamic Empire, which he wants to see happen, declaring war against non-Muslims and collecting their opponents as slaves. He wants that happen. He wants to impose Islam onto the entire world, and he wants to kill apostates and wants to push back against every religion out there, because he believes that is justice. That guy was applauded for that by Al-Dawah, and also invited and applauded by Muhammed Hijab, the dear guy that we are talking about here, who told him that he was absolutely fantastic, that he absolutely destroyed me. So Al-Dawah, Muhammad Hijab, and Daniel Hikikiju agree very much on imposing Islam onto the world and imposing Islam onto every individual in society who doesn't want to participate in Islam, once they have managed to establish a majority and once they have managed to establish Islam as a government entity. This is what these people want.
I'm laughing at a comment by Mrs. Apostate.
What is it?
David, all you need to do is a Care Bear stare to win the hearts of the Muslims. What are you laughing? Do you even know what a Care Bear stare is?
Of course I know. Of course I know. You're not the only old person here.
Did they have the Care Bears in Germany?
Yes, they did.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
It was called Glücksbärchis.
Ja. Ich liebe dich.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought they I don't know. I thought they'd be a little more sinister, because when you read, like gosh, what's it called? With the scissors. It's a kid's story with the guy with the fingernails, and he chops off the fingers and so on. Is it Struwelpeter? Struwelpeter? Does that sound familiar? Do you guys know this so-called German? Hold on, Struwelpeter. It's like, because you had the Brothers Grimm, right? And then you have the American versions of the stories, and they're all watered down and soft, whereas they're much more violent and bloody in the German editions.
Oh, no, I don't actually know about that very much.
Yeah, Heinrich Hoffmann. Okay, Struwelpeter. Okay. Yeah, I remember we had to read that in German class. An 1845 German children's book by Heinrich Hoffmann. It comprises 10 illustrated and rhyme stories, mostly about children. Each has a clear moral that demonstrates the disastrous consequences of misbehavior in an exaggerated way. They're like chopping. I think that, they're chopping off body parts and all kinds of messed up stuff in there. It's for kids. So anyway, I just figured that if you guys had Care Bears, it would be like way more graphically violent.
It's funny. I was just here talking with so much energy and enthusiasm and anger and motivation to everybody about the Islamic system that the British Dawah boys would like to see in the future, and now we're talking about Care Bears and children's books.
Here's the one I was remembering. So
he's not even listening.
I was just reading the stories. In Die Geschichte vom Daumenlutscher, Thumbsucker. Yeah, there you go.
Thumbsucker, yeah.
A mother warns her son Conrad not to suck his thumbs. However, when she goes out of the house, he resumes his thumb sucking until a roving tailor appears and cuts off his thumbs with giant scissors.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah. That's something to my memory.
But do you even get this, right? It's, you tell a kid, don't suck your thumbs, and then he does it anyway, nothing happens. But if you raise him, hey, here's a story. If you do this when I'm not around, someone's going to show up and chop your thumbs off. Then you have Die gar traurige Geschichte mit dem Feuerzeug.
Traurige Geschichte mit dem Feuerzeug. Yeah, the sad story with the
matches. A girl plays with matches, accidentally ignites herself and burns to death.
What the? Really?
Yeah. All these stories are like this.
That is weird.
Yeah. So anyway, the point was, your wife distracted us here. Got me thinking Germans were all hardcore, and now it turns out you guys were watching Care Bears over there. What in the world?
I was watching Care Bears as I was growing up. I was we even had German versions of their intro songs. Now it's on my mind. Now I will have to listen to it after we're done with this conversation. I will be singing Ich möchte dein Glücksbecher sein.
How about Backe, Backe, Kuchen, der Bäcker hat gerufen. Wer will guten Kuchen backen, der muss haben 7 Sachen. Eier und Schmalz, Butter und Salz, Milch und Mehl. Safran macht den Kuchen gelb. Something like that.
That's pretty good. Your German is pretty good. Your German is pretty good.
The first live stream we had, I started doing some German raps. I remember. Ich habe einen grünen Pass mit einem goldenen Lader drauf. Dies bedeutet, dass mir auf die Haare drauf. Yeah, remember those?
I didn't understand the word when you did that. I thought it sounded like Dutch, but maybe I wasn't paying proper attention. I don't know. Now it sounds good. Now it sounds actually solid.
It's pretty dope. Hey, let me just pull up a source on the screen so people understand what we're talking about with why.
I grew up watching Dragon Ball.
In German?
Yeah, I was watching Dragon Ball in German. That was like my thing was Dragon Ball Z. Do you say Z? Do you say Z in English? What do you say?
Dragon Ball Z. We say Z. That's like Great Britain. Okay. Maybe Australia where they say Z.
Okay, yeah. No, that was like my favorite thing as I was living through that.
All right. So
anyway, let's talk about Islamic Dragon Ball. Let's talk about Dawah.
I got a source up on the screen here to show why Ali Dawah would say that in an Islamic state, apostates would be killed. So this is Sahih al-Bukhari 6922. There are tons of passages like this in the hadiths. But Sahih al-Bukhari 6922, if you want one handy, check out the story here. Narrated Ikrimah, some Zanatika, atheists, it's not really though, were brought to Ali, and he burnt them. Notice he burnt them, right? I'm laughing because we were told that when ISIS burned people, they were therefore not Muslims because they burned people. And here you're going to see Ali agree that people shouldn't be burnt, but he did it. Abu Bakr did it. They were burning people, and when they would be called out on it, it's okay. Yeah, you're right. Shouldn't burn them. Yeah, okay. Sorry. How is he punished? How is Ali punished? How is Abu Bakr punished for burning people?
I'm sorry for burning these people. It won't happen again. I'm sorry.
Unless
Yeah,
unless they really annoy me, and then I'll do it again, and then you can remind me one more time not to do that. So they were brought to Ali, and he burnt them. The news of this event reached Ibn Abbas, who said, "If I had been in his place," notice it's not, "I'm coming to press judgment on him for violating a Sharia." Right? He says, "If I had been in his place," he just says, "If I were him, I wouldn't have done it that way."
I wouldn't have done it.
"If I had been in his place, I would not have burnt them, as Allah's messenger forbade it, saying, 'Do not punish anybody with Allah's punishment, fire.'" So the idea here is, Allah's the one who punishes with fire. You guys punish by other means. He says, "I would have killed them according to the statement of Allah's messenger. Whoever changed his Islamic religion, then kill him." And basically the standard method of killing apostates is beheading. So you just chop their heads off. So Ibn Abbas is saying, I wouldn't have burned them. I'd have chopped their heads off. Which I mean, if I had to choose, I'd rather have my head chopped off than be burned to death. But yeah. So notice this is Ibn Abbas. This is Ibn Abbas pointing out that Muhammad said, if anyone leaves his Islamic religion, whoever changed his Islamic religion, kill him. And I can't speak for UAP, but when I quote passages like this in the context of debates and so on, historically, it happens over and over again, I'm told, no. When it says you kill anyone who leaves the religion, what it really means is, if someone leaves the religion and then goes out and joins an army that's coming at you, then you would kill them in battle. Mm-hmm. It's like, really? Ali had these people, right? I mean, they were captives and he's burning them to death. And Ibn Abbas says, no, you chop their heads off and so on. But bottom line is, you wouldn't need an extra command for that, right? You know you're allowed to fight an opposing army, an army that's coming at you. You know that. Why would you need this extra command? And if that's what if that's what Muhammad really meant here, then he is the second worst communicator in all of history after Allah. Just keep in mind, when Allah says, hey, if your wife gets out of line, you smack and beat her into submission. If anyone, whoever doesn't believe in Allah, fight him. When Allah says, fight those who do not believe in Allah, or beat your wives into submission, all these things, we're told by Western Muslims, no, what Allah really means is only fight people who are attacking you. What he really means is tap her with a toothbrush. These are the things that he really means. And then you go to the hadith. What does Muhammad mean here? Whoever changes his Islamic religion, kill him. What's he mean there? Oh, he means if someone goes out, well, it would have been nice if he'd said that, since people are getting their heads chopped off over this stuff. It'd be nice to be clear. It would have saved millions of lives over the centuries if Allah and Muhammad had just been better communicators. And so that's how they explain this away. Fortunately, like a breath of fresh air, Ali Dawah comes along and says, yep, David Wood, the apostate prophet, they're right. We're gonna kill him. Yep. Our apologists have been lying all along. Our Western apologists who are saying all these things about what apostasy laws really are, they were lying.
I kind of feel some sort of I don't know how to express it. I don't want to call it relief, but it is this thing. When I was wanting to go out there and to inform people about Islam, because I had learned about it and I'd studied it intensively when I was a Muslim, as I was leaving and after I left Islam. And I really wanted to inform people out there. One of the big motivators was, I see how Islam is being so sugar-coated and whitewashed in the West, and the average Western person has this completely wrong impression about Islam. They think, it's just being misunderstood, and there are these Muslim organizations, Muslim people saying, you're just misunderstanding Islam. It has nothing to do with intolerance and violence and any of that. And I was seeing that, and I was thinking, man, these people need to stop. I need to go out there, say something. People need to go out there, say something. There are not enough people who are speaking the truth about Islam. Muslims, Islam is lying its way through the West. This cannot happen. This can't be happening. I know exactly what many of these people think. I know exactly that many of these Islamic scholars and Islamic apologists believe in the Islam that I know. I know exactly that they believe that a day will come when the Jews will be fought and killed, to every single one of them. That the Christians should be subdued. That the atheists shouldn't even exist. That the apostates should be killed, and all these things. I know that these people think these things, but they don't openly say these things. And I want to go out there and tell people what these people actually believe in behind the scenes, behind the soft things that they preach. But now we have somebody here like Dawah who actually comes out here and who tells people exactly what I wanted people to know. But you know what makes me so mad? That we have somebody who actually tells people what I wanted people to know, but I don't see the outrage. I don't see the outrage. I don't see the reaction. I don't see Western people. I don't see the atheists. I don't see the Christians. I don't see the softer Muslims. I don't see governments. I don't see the outrage. I don't see where the outrage is. I don't see how these people react to this stuff. People are not reacting to it.
Yeah, and it should be two kinds of outrage. It should be, on the one hand, wait a minute, you're planning on killing all these people that we know? Like, you're planning on killing all these people that we believe have freedom of religion, and you just want to kill all these people? You're going to execute them? One, that's messed up. Two, wow, you guys have been lying to us for decades. In Islam, it's like, we lied to you until it's exposed. Then here's our new lie, and then, okay, we'll believe you on this one. And then that one gets exposed, and then, oh, okay, yeah, now here's our new lie, and then that one gets exposed. And there's never any, wow, we don't trust you guys anymore. We don't trust your spokesman. We don't trust your leaders. We don't trust your scholars. We don't trust your apologists, because all you guys ever do is lie to us. And then when the truth eventually comes out, you just go on to a new lie. There's never any concept. There's never any concept of that. And it's wow, it's wild stuff.
Is eating the Quran worse than killing people over disbelieving? Is eating the Quran, is taking a Quran page like this here, this Quran is taking a Quran page out of this here. This is the one that you ate, right? This is Fatiha. This is what you ate. It's really tearing this out, putting this into your mouth and chewing on it. Is that really worse than killing people, than executing people over their beliefs? Is this worse? Is tearing this out and putting it into your mouth and chewing it worse than oppressing people, than sending rape threats, than justifying sexual assault and justifying oppression? Is this worse? Is eating this worse than Al-Dawah coming and saying, in my ideal system, you should be executed because you cause corruption? Is that really how it is? Is this how people are going to react? I see it's not just Muslims. It's not just the Muslims who are angry. I see all these people. I see people among ex-Muslims, among atheists, among Christians, among so many others who come out and are like, oh, that's going too far. What is going too far? Are you kidding me? You are not having the appropriate reaction to this. You're not having the appropriate reaction to somebody telling me, in mentioning my name, that I should be executed in his ideal world, and that everybody like me who disbelieves and who rejects and who speaks about it should be executed. You have no problem with that. And you have a problem. You are sensitive about somebody ripping a page out and eating the Quran. What kind of hypocrisy, what kind of insanity is this? Would it be okay for me to come here and to say, in my ideal system, would it be okay to say, in my ideal system, in my ideal government, according to my ideology, people who convert to Islam should be put to death? Yes, and I'm proud of that. People who convert to Islam should be put to death because they are causing corruption in society. They are perverted. They are perverting society, which is why they should
just to be clear, for anyone who wants to cut that out and use it out of context, he's not saying that. He's saying, if I said that, then you would see a problem. I've seen how people raise complaints. They'll say, "See this clip? The apostate prophet is calling for the deaths of anyone who converts to Islam.
I would like to see that. I would like to see how people react to it.
Yeah.
I even thought of making a test video. If I didn't know the obvious outcome, I wanted to make a test video and publish it on YouTube and say that and see what happens.
Watch.
See if I get away with that. If I get away with saying that in my ideal system, people who convert to Islam should be executed because Muslims cause corruption in society. Would I get away with that?
Yeah, you'd be done. You'd be done there. You'd be done on Twitter. It'd be instantaneous.
I would be finished.
Yeah.
I would be finished.
And yet, only Dawah can say this. Hijab can say this. So anyway, to make the point along lines you're saying. So this Quran here, it's Yusuf Ali. We got, see this? We got the bright light on there, but you got the light is too bright. I guess you can see it there. Oh, there we go. So you've got Surah 9, verse 29, and that's like the cause of endless violence, right? This is why I would have to be violently subjugated or die in Islam. So let me just see if I can get that back here. And notice there are people flipping out. We're sitting here talking about these guys calling for our deaths, harassing women with imagery of torture and rape because they've been influenced by this religion, this book, and they'll get mad at me for holding up a verse that is responsible for millions of deaths and the subjugation of endless people, and you're worried about this. You're, oh, poor page, poor paper. Page. You're causing such hurt feelings. Those feelings are the most important thing in the world. Not all the people who are being raped and subjugated. Not all those people. No, the piece of paper and all the people who have their feelings based on it. So look at this. Surah 9, verse 29. Fight those who believe not in Allah nor the last day. Notice. It doesn't say fight people who are attacking you. Fight those who believe not in Allah, nor the last day, nor hold that forbidden which hath been forbidden by Allah and his messenger, nor acknowledge the religion of truth, it's Islam supposedly, from among the people of the book, as Jews and Christians, until they pay the jizya with willing submission and feel themselves subdued. So Christians and Jews actually have it better, because if we pay Muslims in acknowledgement of our inferiority, we get to survive. Atheists, pagans, polytheists, they don't have that. They don't have that same right. So when you look at the status of Christians in Pakistan or Egypt or all the places where Christians were conquered, it's because of this. It's because of this. And for some reason, Christians are, oh, whatever you do, don't hurt anyone with it. So let's make sure we just get this Arabic part out. Just the Arabic. So notice what AP is pointing out is more. you'll have more people upset that I do this.
Yeah.
Than you'll have over Muslims saying that they can't wait to start killing people like the apostate prophet. And it's absolutely insane.
It is crazy. It is crazy. There's so much here. Is this worse? Is eating this worse? Here, you did it again. David Wood did it again. David Wood ate another piece of the Quran.
It's for you, Hijab.
This is for you.
Take down your tweets. I stopped eating the Quran, but I'm going to keep eating the Quran until you take them down.
How does it taste? How does it taste?
It keeps tasting better and better. Once you get a taste for the Quran, you just want to have more and more, right? I mean, first it tastes horrible, but the more you have, I don't want to spit this verse out. I want it to go through my entire system.
You want to do that?
I'm thinking I have to wash it down with some water here.
Don't pollute yourself, David. Don't pollute yourself. That was my biggest concern. That is my biggest concern.
There it goes. Went down smooth, ladies and gentlemen. No Quran. Surah 9, verse 29. Muhammed Hijab fans, you know where that's going. You know where that's going. You know where it comes out. And you know who had been warned. Yeah. All the power's in his hands. I said, you do this. You stop doing this, I'll stop doing this. No, me no stop. Me no stop this. Me strong. Surah 9, verse 29. Go ahead.
I want to ask you a question. Everybody, I want to ask this question again and again. I want to reiterate this again and again. Every person, every Muslim apologist, every Muslim who's going to cut this out and is going to put it out there.
Yeah, they are.
Is,
it's funny.
is ripping out the Quran and putting it into your mouth. Or forget about putting it into your mouth. It's ripping the Quran and disrespecting it and destroying it. Really worse than what Dawah said. Then saying that people who don't believe in Islam any longer and who make that public should be executed. Is that really worse? Is ripping this apart really worse than saying people should be executed for no longer believing in Islam? Would I be excused if I said that? Is ripping apart the Quran, look, here, right here, ripped apart.
Oh!
Going away, here.
That is, whoa! Hey, you're doing it like the pretty one, man. I use the cheap Yusuf Ali one. You've got a nice decorated one.
I will take the prettiest Quran out here. Is this worse than Dawah telling me that I should be executed according to his Islamic beliefs because I cause corruption in society?
Man.
Is this worse than telling people that homosexuals should be executed? Is this worse than telling people that apostates should be executed? Is this worse than saying that there is nothing wrong with slavery? Is this worse than sending rape threats and rape implications to people? Is this worse than telling me that I should be executed publicly on Twitter without anyone doing anything? Is this worse? I'm not going to do that. I don't want to make my mouth filthy with this. Is this worse than sending death threats to people and trying to harass people, trying to threaten people, trying to incite harassment and insults and violence? Is this really worse than all of those things? Is this ripping apart of paper, of dumb, stupid paper with absolute garbage inside of it, really worse than saying all those things? This book tells me that I am the worst of creatures, that David Wood is the worst of creatures, that the Jews are the worst of creatures, that all the disbelievers are the worst of creatures. Is this really worse than saying all those things? Is this worse than telling us that we should be executed for no longer believing in Islam?
This is the Oscar shot right here. This is your Twitter shot, guys. This is the part you want to cut out and put on Twitter.
Is this worse? Is this worse? Is ripping this apart worse?
Talking to you, Hijab fans.
Is this worse than harassing people? Is this
Talking to you, Hijab fans.
Threatening people? Is this worse than saying apostates should be killed and we will be proud of that and watch
Not
that
scared.
happen?
Not scared.
Is this worse? I will do more. Is this worse?
Not scared of you. Not scared of the backlash. Not scared of being banned. They can do it. They can do it. It's a matter of time. They'll probably demonetize us here sometime this week. And
worse.
Come on, man.
Is this worse than telling me I should be killed?
We can do this all day. I have like 40 Qurans.
I should order more. Is this worse? Is this worse? Look, the Quran is gone. It's gone. It's no longer here. Look how the Quran is lingering here. Here. No more Quran. Your Quran is done. It's destroyed. Is this worse than telling me I should be executed and you would be proudly watching because I'm causing corruption in society by no longer believing in your religion? Is this worse than telling me I'm less than cattle and I'm the worst of creatures and I should be executed? Is this worse than telling us that Islam should be imposed on the entire world and that slavery, enslaving me, who is against Islam, is good? Is this worse than that? Is that worse or is this worse? Here. I'm done with it. The Quran is gone. It's gone.
Take your tweets down, Hijab.
It's gone.
Anything mentioning any woman, anyone's wife, take it down. Otherwise, we're just getting started. Trust me on this. I've kept my word so far, and I'm telling you, these are just warnings. These are warnings. These are warning shots across the bow because I don't want to go where I'm willing to go, but I'm willing to go. All right.
Do you hear this?
What's that?
Do you hear this? This is the Quran. I don't know if you can hear this, but this is the Quran. This is the Quran.
Under your feet?
Is this worse? Is this worse? The Quran is under my feet. People in Middle Eastern cultures know exactly what that means. Is this worse than telling me that I should be executed for leaving Islam? And nothing happens about that.
Yeah, you should be ashamed of yourself for tearing up a book that calls for all of our violent, bloody subjugation and death, the violent oppression of women, book that's led to millions and millions and millions of deaths, you should be ashamed of yourself for actually being a man and taking a stand. Well,
by the way, I want to add one thing. I don't want any coward, any weasel, any idiot out there to be like, oh, this is misrepresenting me. David Wood is misrepresenting Christians. Apostate Prophet is misrepresenting ex-Muslims and atheists. No, I don't care about any coward who thinks that way. I am not representing anybody out there. I am entirely only representing myself. You can go and represent yourself in whatever cowardly way you want to represent yourself, but I am representing myself here as a person who rips up the Quran because I was just told that I should be executed, and there's apparently nothing wrong with that. Because I'm less worth than this dumb piece of paper.
Mm-hmm. And I'm doing it because I'm trying to avoid some harassment of women that comes out of this religion. And I don't consider this, the Christian thing to do. Apart from, hey, I'm supposed to stand up for what's right. I consider this just being a man, right? If God made you a man and you see, and I'm not even talking about, the sexes here. I'm just saying, if God made you a man, you're supposed to, stand up for what's right. And so if you see people heaping abuse on women and deciding that they're going to encourage the rest of the people in their ideology to do the same, sometimes you just got to say no. And and when everyone stabs you in the back for it, well, guess what? You can make me look like a porcupine. I'm still coming after this book.
I think we made our point today.
Yeah,
David.
I think we got the point across.
Yeah, I hadn't planned this. I thought we were just going to talk.
No, we weren't. This was totally unplanned. I was mentioning my plans for later this week when we'd have some beer and some bacon and so on. But just all of this stuff from these guys and the fact that this is the true heart of Islam, right? This is the true heart of Islam. You guys have to die. We're going to subjugate you. We're going to oppress women. And it's all of this. And you're too cowardly to stand against it. You don't have the guts to stand against it. You don't have the guts to oppose us. That's the message, right? If you guys did not protect 11 and 12-year-old girls while gangs of men are raping them and pimping them out and drugging them and beating them, if you didn't stand up for them until some media embarrassment actually forced you to do something about it, if you didn't stand against that, and if once it was exposed, you said, okay, we're still going to protect the ideology, we're still going to make sure that no one ever criticizes the ideology. Think about that, right? This is what Muhammed Hijab and Ali Dawah have been seeing all their lives. We can literally gang rape their daughters. And once we get caught, and when we get caught, they will still praise our religion. These people are so weak, they can never withstand us. That's why they're escalating. They don't believe that anyone is willing to stand in their way. They believe that they are dealing with entire nations of complete cowards. And they're not that far off the mark. They're not that far off the mark. But there are some of us who say, not on our watch.
Exactly. I want to say, everybody who's voicing their support, I would like to do this in the name of everybody who wants to do this, who wants to be here in my place or next to me or next to David, and who wants to do this. I'm doing this for all of you. David is doing it maybe for all of you. I can speak a bit for him, but I would love to represent you if you want to be represented by this.
AP, think about it. Seriously, if Hijab simply takes down all his tweets, now later this week, if he hasn't taken down his tweets, and I go ahead and put forward a more formal warning, he's not going to get this deal. Right now, it's just if he takes down all of his tweets that mention a woman, anyone's wife, things like that. If he takes all that stuff down, he's still allowed to. He can blast away at us. Just not crossing certain lines. I'll stop. It's done. We're done. We're done. Not going to be doing this anymore until you guys cross some serious lines. This is what I will do if you cross some serious lines. Other than that, I don't want to do this. I don't want to draw pictures. I don't want to draw pictures of your prophet. I don't want to tear up your book. I definitely don't want to eat your book. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but I'll do it. But I mean, if you don't get the point, I'm gonna keep going farther. And as AP was saying right there, if you want to come along beside him, that opportunity will eventually arise, because that's what's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I don't know if I can.
Other people will be invited. Other people will be invited, and there is no limit to the ways that I can come up with of degrading your book. As sick and perverted as Muhammed Hijab's mind is with coming up with perverted sex and torture fantasies, I'm beyond that with the different ways of torturing and defiling and desecrating your book. So if you think Muhammed Hijab, this is the sickest dude since his prophet. At least Muhammed Hijab doesn't walk around covered in semen, unlike his prophet. But even if you're thinking how sick and disgusting this dude is and the stuff he's coming up with, the golden showers and this and that, I will come up with, I promise you, and you may see it, I will come up with vastly, vastly more depraved ways of dealing with your book. Muslims who are watching, if you have an ounce of concern for your book, then you would go to Muhammed Hijab and say, you need to take your stuff down. These guys are not joking. And then we're done.
Me strong.
Me don't take down. Me strong. Oh!
I feel so much relief right now. I feel so much relief. I feel so much happiness right now. I will take a picture of this.
Tearing up the Quran have that impact on you? Do you feel liberated? There is a liberated feeling, right? People live in fear of doing this stuff. They just do it, and then you realize, wait a minute, what are people scared of?
Man, I feel so relieved. I feel like something is going through my body. I feel so happy about this. I feel so happy that I'm.
Woo! Woo! You feel that? You feel the power. We're feeling the power, Muhammed Hijab. We're feeling good. Ali Dawah. Like you guys feel when you. Oh, I feel me strong. Me beat up woman. Me strong.
Muhammed Hijab, I feel much better.
Me talk about killing all these apostates.
I feel much better after ripping apart the Quran than you feel when you send rape threats to other people. I feel much better than that, believe me.
Yeah.
I will sleep good tonight. By the way, this completely contradicts with my video. I just planned a video in which I talked about I don't think ripping apart and eating the Quran is bad. I don't want to do it. I don't do anything for now. I did other things. And
liar! You hypocrite! You hypocrite! I have video of you doing it.
I completely disrupted the plan now, but I'll publish that video anyway because it will make a point.
Messages tomorrow. David, shame on you.
Amazing, man. Amazing. Okay, I think we should call it a night.
All right. Should I read out these super chats real quick?
Sure.
Because a bunch of them were coming up especially while we were having fun with the Quran. So, Poledog, we read your comment earlier. Heavenly Knight said, remember the golden rule, to treat each other how you want to be treated. How will God trust us if we cannot lay down our life for him like Jesus Christ did? And yeah, that's definitely part of it, right? Everyone agrees on some certain basic rules. And if I ever get to the point where I'm calling for people's deaths and heaping abuse on women, then by all means, put me in check. So that's how I would want to be treated. I would want you to do whatever you need to do to stop me from behaving horribly. And so that's how I would want to be treated, and therefore that is how we will treat Muhammed Hijab. Steadfast and Easy said, a Patreon add-on, regards to the wife and kids. God bless all. Ryan92 said, we need World Eat Quran Day. No, people don't need to eat other people don't need to eat the Quran. I mean, if once we eventually get to the point where we're making this a wider experience. Just so everyone knows, I'm going to tell most people not to do this, right? It's a certain kind of person who should be doing this, right? I mean, if you're focused on evangelism and things like that, you don't want to be doing this sort of thing. If you're more of a protector type, in other words, you understand that certain people can't go out and oppose this because it might be too dangerous for them or something like that, whereas you're not concerned about that kind of thing, then those are the kinds of people I would encourage to do this. But yeah, we will come up with all kinds of ways of dishonoring and desecrating the Quran. But yeah, pretty fun World Eat Quran Day.
We should retitle this live stream, by the way.
Yeah. Cindy Lou said, most of the Christians support you eating the Quran. Don't let them fool you. Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, especially if people find out what the reasoning is, I think lots of people tend to think that, I'm glad that there are some people like David Wood and the apostate prophet and Sam Shamoun and so on to deal with the Muhammed Hijabs and the Ali Dawahs of the world in a way that doesn't involve violence, right? I think a lot of people are saying, I would never do that, but I'm glad there is someone who will do that, stuff. Caitlin Jennings. Go ahead.
I don't encourage anybody to do this themselves unless you really want to.
Yeah, Caitlin Jennings says, I recently discovered both of you. What is your opinions on Christians reading the Quran? Oh, I actually I don't know if it was by the same person, but I got a couple questions about reading the Quran. Yeah, Caitlin, this is... I don't believe that, you might be swayed by it. The Quran is the worst, most horrible book I've ever read in my entire life. I'm not saying that because I disagree with Islam. There are books like, David Hume's Dialogues Concerning Natural Religion, which I disagree with, but it's brilliant. It's brilliant stuff, right? You can acknowledge something that is brilliantly written, even if you disagree with it. I would agree with very little of what's in Plato's Republic. Plato's Republic is one of the best books I've ever read. So it's not just I don't like the Quran, therefore I'm gonna say mean things about it. The reason I can't just say yes, read the Quran, is because I don't think the vast majority of Christians could ever make it through the Quran. It is very, very difficult reading. It jumps around from topic to topic. Very difficult to understand without the aid of commentaries and so on.
Incredibly stupid.
It's not in order. It's not in chronological order. So basically what I want to avoid is I don't want Christians thinking, hey, I want to study Islam so I can reach Muslims. Let me start by reading the Quran, because then you're not going to finish the Quran. You're going to give up, and then you're not going to go out reaching Muslims, right? So I would encourage reading the Quran topically. So pick a topic that you're interested in, like, what the Quran says about Jesus or something like that. Then look up, and you could go to a site like Answering Islam or something, or you can get a Quran with an index. Look up everything the Quran says about Jesus. Read those passages. If you're interested in responding to terrorism or something, look up everything the Quran says on that topic, rather than try to read it straight through. But I would encourage, not just with the Quran, but with the Hadith as well. Pick a topic you're interested in, because that's going to help you get through when you're reading very difficult, boring material. If you're really interested in it, then it will help you get through. But if you just start reading the Quran or the Hadith, you're going to get bored, because it covers all kinds of stuff that you will definitely not be interested in. So that would be my advice there. What are your thoughts on that? Should people be reading the Quran?
I think they should be doing that, of course. I think I would encourage everybody to, if you actually want to, if you actually want to know something about Islam, you should definitely, if you want to do that to yourself, you should read the Quran. It is, I have to say, Muslims don't like reading that book. It is incredibly painful to read. I know for a fact, it is a very well-known thing among Muslims, that it is very hard to read the Quran, because no one wants to do it, and Muslims usually blame it on other reasons. But the book is simply very hard to read. It is repetitive. It is completely meaningless. It repeats stuff here and there and across the book on the other side again. But if you want to know about Islam, read the book. It will tell you more than I can tell you and more than David can tell you. You will realize that it is incredibly incoherent, very hateful, very violent, and rough. Definitely pretty stupid.
It's pretty rough. Pretty rough.
Yeah. I tried to read it recently, and I just had to stop. I couldn't go on. I had to force myself to keep reading. Every time I read it, I felt very dark after I was done. You know?
I had to force myself years ago to read it, because I had read the relevant passages, you know, over and over and over again. I had plenty of Quran verses memorized and so on, but I realized I never sat down to just read it straight through. So I decided, okay, I need to read the entire Quran, just go cover to cover. And man, that is painful to do. That is painful to do. So I mean, I read the Quran now in, you know, multiple versions and translations and so on, but it is painful. I have to read this because I have to know this stuff. But my goodness, the great 20th century skeptic who eventually became a kind of theist, Anthony Flew, said it best. He said to read the Quran is to do penance. I mean, penance. That's where you punish yourself for your sins, right? He said that's what it is. And AP is right. We tend to think, oh, Muslims are really, you know, reading the Quran. If you ask Muslims, do you guys read the Quran? They say, oh yes, we read the Quran. We've all got it memorized. Nope. A few of them read it and memorize it and so on. And they will. Lots of Muslims will memorize certain passages for their prayers and things like that. But I was shocked at how little Muslims knew about their Quran when I started debating and so on. I would just talk to Muslims afterwards, and they would say, "Well, I believe in Islam because of the women's rights," and so I started bringing up verses. They had no clue what I was talking about. Like 98% of the time, they would have no clue what I was talking about when I'm quoting the Quran to them, and they just didn't know. So the reason is Muslims do get their minds around their basic practices of, okay, you have to do this on Friday, and you have to do this, and you have to take the Hajj, and they get that. But we see them walking around, and oh, you've got a prayer mat, and oh, you're dressed a certain way. We think, oh, you must be very knowledgeable about your religion. Nope. You've been told, hey, these are the core practices you need to do, and you follow those, and other than that, you stay out of it. Let the scholars deal with the actual knowledge.
Well, the number of people among Muslims who actually have read the Quran, who have read the entire book, is extremely low. It's a tiny minority of people who have actually read the Quran cover to cover, and among those, most of them have read it in Arabic, while most Muslims don't know Arabic. People who have actually read it in a language that they understand, the percentage of those is extremely low. I would say definitely less than 5%. So most Muslims don't know most Muslims haven't read their book. The vast majority of Muslims haven't read their book, haven't even come close to reading their book. So, and I will tell you, if you want to ask me whether you should read the Quran, a Muslim will tell you that you shouldn't read the Quran by yourself, but that you should consult a scholar and you should consult exegesis. I will tell you, read the Quran by yourself. Don't listen to them. Read the Quran by yourself. It's all you need to know more about Islam.
Mm-hmm. Donald Steyer didn't leave a comment. Cindy Lou said, make some Quran toilet paper merch. Again, guys, I do not want to go down this road. That is, guys, if you've seen, now maybe for you Muslims who are watching, especially, you're probably thinking, no, but you insult Muhammad, you do this. Yeah, guys, notice, I have been making fun of Muhammad and the Quran for years, but it's always content based, right? There's an argument there. I'm giving an argument. I'm giving evidence. And in the context of giving the evidence, I also use sarcasm and mockery and so on like that. It's to add to the point, to make the point stick in your minds. I don't just sit around making fun of stuff with no point, right? That's what hijab is making us do. Just, hey, we're just here to insult your book until you actually stop being such a total dirtbag, right? So anyway, the point is, I would normally, if when a Christian says we need to use the Quran as toilet paper, and look, come on, no, come on, stop that. But now I'm not ruling anything out now. I'm not ruling anything out because again, I'm willing to go apart from committing violence. There's not much of a limit to where I'm willing to go on this one. Awestruck Child said, "Hey, just sending you both some love. Please try your best to stay safe. We're in really dark times right now. Thank the Lord Jesus Christ for strong men like you willing to take a stand." Donald Steyer says, the Kirat Conundrum with David Wood and Al Fadi. Hi, guys. I've been having a lively conversation with Ahmed Abdullah in the previous video. Is he one of your regulars? Hi, AP. I'm pretty terrible with names, so maybe you guys would know if he's a regular. Cindy Lou says, when is AP gonna get saved?
That's a whole complicated topic right now. I don't think we would be. I don't think we should be going into that right now. VJ says the difference between you and hijab seem to be what it's driven by. David and Ridvan does it out of love for Muslims, so they get saved. Hijab out of hate. Yeah, and there can be multiple reasons. Like I want to break this hold that Islam has on people, so that they can actually, seriously consider an alternative to Islam. But at the end of the day, there's also, hey, this ideology calls for the violent subjugation of the entire world, and so whatever your position, you should be standing against this. And even you Muslims who don't want to live under that, and I know you don't want to live on it, you should be against people like Ali Dawah. You should be leaving your religion because your religion calls for that. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Sorry, I missed this right now, but
he's talking about the difference between us and hijab, right? Because a lot of people, matter of fact, I have seen a lot of comments on this. You guys are just like Muhammad Hijab. He's being disrespectful, and you guys are being disrespectful.
Muhammad Hijab is motivated by the fact that his Islamic religion, as he openly admits, orders him to subjugate the enemies of Islam, which just means somebody who opposes Islam. Enemy is a very tough word that Islam randomly, casually applies to any random person who doesn't want to be violated by Islam. So he is motivated by his religion telling him that he should impose his religion on the entire world, and that he should reach every single household, and that he should make Islam win in the end. And on that path, he will hate everybody who has an issue with that, who has an issue with his motives, and who has an issue with his religion. He is motivated by that. He's motivated by hate. He has clearly told me that he hates me, that he's supposed to hate me, because Muhammad Hijab adheres to an ideology, to an idea that is known as al-wala wal-bara, which means loyalty and disavowal, which means you are supposed to be loyal to Allah and His Messenger and His and the Muslims, and you are supposed to disavow the non-Muslims. You are supposed to love what Allah loves and hate what Allah hates. David Wood and I and everybody who doesn't want to live under Islamic law is what Allah hates, which is why he hates us. That is his ideology. It's not what I'm saying, it's what he believes in. I'm not motivated by hate. I'm not motivated by punishing people, by sacrificing lives for paper, which was the topic here. I'm motivated by going against the system that I was brought up with, that taught me hate, that taught me darkness and sadness and hopelessness, that spreads sadness and hopelessness and anger and violence and hate into the world. I want to stop it. I want people to get away from that, to live for a better world and live for a better future. Mm-hmm. We are motivated by that. I will proudly say that I am definitely much, much better than Muhammad Hijab in my motives and my feelings.
No question. I've said it before. I spent years in prison. Hijab and Ali Dawah are two of the worst people I've ever met in my life.
Yes.
And I've met some really, really bad, messed up people. And I've been a really bad, messed up person. And these are some messed up dudes, and it's just amazing that they become the champions of a certain religion. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Angelique News says, David, peace be upon him, please eat the verses of plowing women. Now that brings up an interesting issue, because I was just thinking I was going to eat Surah 6 verse 108, since that's the one that Muhammad Hijab clearly has no respect for. When I have some bacon and beer to wash the Quran down with, but maybe we'll have a little request situation, right? Where we'll be live and you can request verses to me for me to eat. So that might be fun.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yep. See, that's how we come up with awesome ideas. Hijab, you can stop us anytime. You can stop us anytime you stop being the most arrogant, pride-filled person on the planet.
I don't know if I want to stop anymore. I don't think I can stop anymore. I just got such a
I know it is, right? It is, right? I mean, it's like skydiving or something, right?
Yeah.
Bungee jumping.
I don't know if I can stop. Help.
I wasn't joking. You get a taste for the Quran. You just want to. Now every time I see the Quran, I'm like, oh, come on, gotta get a bite. Right? And Angelique News also said. Angelique News also said, David, peace be upon him, do not forget to shred it when you eat it. So she's talking about the Quran, talking about the Quran being shredded in Surah 15, 90 to 91. David the Goliath says, Islam is basically a BDSM relationship with Allah. And maybe that's why Hijab has all this weird BDSM language when he's talking to people.
Where do you think where he gets it from? Yeah.
Zukmidich didn't leave a comment. Hindu historian said, you guys are indeed the arms of the Almighty. Bhagavad Gita 2:31 to 38. He's saying we are the arms of the Almighty according to Bhagavad Gita. And this Hindu historian saying this. Pow.
Yeah, I doubt it. But thank you.
I doubt it too. But the point is he's trying to make he's making a nice comment, right?
Thank you.
Donald's,
I say it to everybody Hindu story, and I also say it to Christians. I say it to everybody. So yeah, sorry. But thank you. I appreciate it.
Donald Steyer said, who is this Allah anyway that he thinks that threatening people will make them convert to a false prophet and a false god? Exactly. Now notice, that's just basic common sense. And that's what everyone misses somehow. Amateur Ant said, his job is just mad because Epstein never invited him to Pedo Island so he can practice what his prophet did.
Man, it's okay.
Warren Maroney says, I've eaten food that disagreed with me, but I've never eaten food that disagreed with itself. Bell says, thank you for bringing education to the Western countries about these subjects and the laughs that go with it. Aaron Larson said, Christian men like girls. Momo was the one wearing Aisha's nightie. That is true. There might be some points to be brought up here in the near future. Rissify says, do you equally analyze Christianity critically as Islam? So this is a criticism I get often. David, why don't you apply the same criticism to Christianity? I did long time ago, right? So whenever I'm encountering an ideology, my first inclination is, tell me what your main argument is. What's the main evidence you have to support this position? And when you do that with Islam, you get a bunch of complete nonsense, right? Any argument they give you that you examine turns out to be complete idiotic nonsense, right? Oh, the Quran's been perfectly preserved. Well, one, that's stupid to think that if a book were perfectly preserved, that would make it the word of God. Yeah. Two, the Quran, the preservation of the Quran was an absolute catastrophe. It was a disaster. It takes you 5 minutes of research to see all of these, what an epic horror show the early preservation of the Quran was. But that's what you find with every single argument that you examine in Islam. Now, whether you are atheist, agnostic, whatever, you can actually agree with what I'm saying here. When you examine the core evidence for Christianity, it's not like that. You would think, if you examine Islam, you would think, and a lot of people do think, well, if I examine the resurrection, the main argument for Christianity, I'm going to get the same thing. I'm going to find out that it's just a bunch of nonsense. That's not what you find. Keep in mind, I came at this as an atheist, but it's not what you find. You find all of the facts to support the resurrection. The only question is, are you willing to acknowledge a miracle? You could say, no, I'm a naturalist. I'm not going to believe in a miracle. But if you're willing to grant a miracle or the possibility of a miracle, you have a pretty good case for a miracle there. You have his death, which was a public event. Scholars across the board, atheist scholars, agnostic scholars, Jewish scholars, liberal Christian scholars, conservative Christian scholars, everyone agrees Jesus died by crucifixion. And also across the board, everyone agrees that Jesus' followers were convinced that he appeared to them on multiple occasions after he had risen from the dead. So the point is, it's not nothing. You're stuck with a little mystery there. Why did all of these people think that a man who had died had risen and appeared to them as a resurrected human being? You can start going down the list. You can start, hallucinations, this, that. The other explanations don't work. If you're just an atheist or a naturalist, that probably won't be enough by itself to push you towards Christianity. The point is there's something there, right? There is a case there. In Islam, you just don't have it. Now, if you're a rabid atheist who's opposed to all evidence, like the apostate prophet, someone who's in stubborn rebellion against God, someone who spends all night cursing the God that he says he doesn't believe in, then maybe. And I even have a message from him in a previous live stream where he admitted that he is a horribly immoral atheist. I've got the screenshot. So just so everyone knows.
You saved that one. Okay. I guess that was David's answer. My answer is that I don't know if you're done with your answer. I don't really care if you're done with your answer. I just want to talk now. I have too much self-confidence now. I cannot be stopped by respect and common sense anymore. Yeah, I have equally scrutinized Christianity just as much as I scrutinize. No. That would be unfair of me to say. Definitely not just as much as I scrutinized Islam, but I have critically analyzed Christianity very much, given it a chance, and I even wanted to really believe in it. There was a time, especially not too long ago, actually, where I really felt like I need it in my life, where I need something in my life, and the only religion that I really felt close to, that I felt attracted to, and that I felt what made sense was Christianity. I thought it was not only the most efficient religion, as it turns out historically, and socially, it was also the only religion that gives me, I felt like, the right beliefs and feelings that I felt. But of course, there's also a lot about Christianity that I completely disagree with, be it theologically and morally. But the thing is that eventually I just I was just not convinced that the evidence for Christianity is convincing enough to make me believe in Christianity. But it's not even about Christianity. It's not about Christianity, to be very honest. It's about the belief in God. It's not about Christianity. The belief in God, the concept of God itself, is something that I just couldn't agree on. And I'm currently preparing a Turkish video on 10 reasons why I don't believe in God. I will probably also prepare the same thing in English because I kind of liked how it turned out.
I notice you trying to run that by your Turkish audience first before the rest of us school you on it.
No. I didn't publish it. It's not for my Turkish channel. It's for I joined this Turkish Atheist Association, which is the first atheist organization in the Middle East, in the Muslim world. That's why they kind of asked me to make some videos for them, and I decided to make that. And so I will do that in English too. And people who ask me this question very frequently can then watch it there. So my problem is rather with the belief in God itself more than with Christianity. If I was convinced that a God made sense or could exist, or that I could believe in God, then I could explore the options. But since that doesn't work, I can't get to Christianity. If I did believe in that, I could possibly believe in the evidence of Christianity, but I don't believe in that, which is why I can't come to Christianity. So anyway, it's a long topic. I will elaborate further on that if possible, maybe even engage in debates on that stuff.
Wait. Should I be? I mean, I believe in God. Should I be acting like Hijab here?
I will refute you, boy! You don't believe in God because you're a coward! You're not strong! You're not strong! Whoa! That's why you'll be executed!
You should challenge me to a fist fight. You should go after my entire family.
I challenge you to an MMA match! Show you me strong! I will show you God exists in the ring!
Yeah.
Like Khabib!
After I'm beaten up, after my nose is bleeding, I will be finally, oh yeah, I was wrong. I was wrong. I accepted I was wrong.
Ryan92 says, gosh, I'm going to try to zoom through these because there's a bunch popped up when you started ripping up the Quran for no reason against my protest. All right, guys, I'm going to do these fast unless there's something we need to comment. Ryan92 says, David, is it possible Jesus was the lamb that took the breastfeeding verses of the Quran away? I also get sometimes was Jesus the lamb that poisoned Muhammad? No. Now, if you want to say that's weird. If you want to say that God was behind that, then you could I think you could argue that. Hindu historian says for eating a Quran verse. Rael Carol didn't leave comments, although Carol left a super sticker. Cindy Lou says yes, thanks for the great content. Sarah Hagie says you two are awesome. That's true. Edit sweet. said, if I buy a hot dog for $10, name it Muhammed, and then he said, if I buy a hot dog for $10, name it Muhammad, and then sell it for $20, have I made a profit? You get the joke?
Yeah.
All right. And then we have Hindu Historian and LD with super stickers, and LD didn't leave a comment. Lytle said, you guys are shaming the devil. That's how we roll. Lucas MMV says, man, I think this is the best use of a Quran I've ever seen. Cindy Lou said, feed it to a pig. Might happen. Could happen, Hijab. If you're watching this, Hijab. Boneless Christian Wing said, I need a Quran. I'm sick of microwave bean burritos. Hercules says, Hercules, get it? Shirk? Like Hercules, but Hercules. Said, that Quran is finished, boy. Your Quran is finished. That's how we have. That's why we have to roll when we're destroying the Quran. Ouch! Look at that. That Quran is finished.
Look at this Quran. This Quran is finished, boy.
You see the power? You see the power? You see the power, Hijab? You see our power? Oh, boy. We're your teacher. We're your teachers, teaching you morals and lessons the hard way.
I'm your teacher, boy. I teach the Quran. See? This is how I teach the Quran.
Cheryl R. with the super sticker. Jesus Truth said, eating the Quran is like eating Hitler's Mein Kampf. Yeah, except there's not going to be a bunch of people wanting to kill you if you dishonored Hitler's Mein Kampf. Seraphim said, book is greater than human life. That is sad. Great job, guys. God bless you all. As Toya06 says, yay, I was just waiting for AP to do it. But it was better when both you and AP ripped the Quran. Beautiful. Yeah, that's going to be on Twitter. That's probably on Twitter already. Giggity Troll says, never stop. Souls are saved every time people leave this awful religion and turn to Jesus Christ. Aaron Larson said, it's not what goes into a man that defiles him, Quran pages, but what comes out of him. Sick golden shower taunts. Oh, I'm going to use that. Aaron Larson, if you ever want to show that I stole something from you, you can point back to where, you said it right here before I said it. But when I say it in a video, I don't credit people. I steal stuff all the time, mainly from Sam Shamoon, and also from my wife.
Oops. Oh, your wife? Her wife said it. You just admitted that your wife has spoken against Islam. Oh, this is why we come at her. Oh!
But no, did you catch that?
Yeah. By the way, I will bring my dog here tomorrow. By the way, my dog will be walking in this room. I will not clean it up.
Gosh, man, we're so dead. We're so dead, which is weird because I understand. I understand. I have, I'm psychopath. I understand why it doesn't bother me. I don't understand you. You're a weird dude.
I am frustrated.
You can only push a man so far.
I'm passionate.
Donald Steer says, the Bible says... Wait, let me go back to that other comment by Aaron Larson. That was good. It's not what goes into a man... I'm just going to screenshot this real quick. I'm going to steal this. It's not what goes into a man that defiles him, Quran pages, but what comes out of him, sick golden shower taunts. That's what defiles him. That is exactly what Jesus said. That is interesting. Donald Steer says, the Bible says you can tell if a tree is good by its fruit, which is why Islam is bad and should be stayed away from. Prem Kumar didn't leave a comment. Arlen 3, love and respect you more. DWAP, I no longer wonder where your heart is. Love it. Patreon coming. Be careful, Arlen. I don't know where you're getting your money that you send me, but you've been sending me a lot, and I'm horrible at contacting people and thanking them, mainly because I don't like it when people... Well, when I give someone money, I'm like, I don't want you to contact me. I want you to do what I'm sending you money to do. Don't waste time contacting me. But so anyway, thank you for the contributions. Bell said, Jesus insulted the leaders of his time. He called them snakes. It was the worst insults he could have called them for that time. Yes, Jesus was pretty savage with the scribes and Pharisees.
I'm sorry for the noise, by the way. There's a lot of garbage on my floor.
Lots of garbage. Sophia Agape said, this is so you can buy some milk and bananas for your Quran flakes. Oh, I could get a, and we have people here that can do graphic design, guys. If you want to make a Quran flakes, box design graphic, I will put it on a box and be eating it, and I will be pouring out Quran flakes. I hope you're watching Muhammed Hijab, because again, I do not want to do this, but you're revving us up. You're getting us excited about doing this. If you had a non-roid filled brain cell left in your head, you would take down some tweets, and we're done. We're done, dude. We'll see what happens. Bell's Mamacita is only a couple left. May the Lord bless you and keep you safe. I am praying for you. I am with you. Truth Seeker says, read Quran by Bill Warner on politicalislam.com. AS says, Allah sent another holy goat today from above. Ridwan, after the goat named David. It is pretty cool that because we eat the Quran, people call us the goats. You know what I mean?
That's good.
Isn't that cool? Everyone, and I didn't get it. Everyone's when I ate the Quran that first time, everyone started. I just saw everyone said, "David is the goat," and I was thinking, "Cool, I'm the greatest of all time." They really like what I'm doing. Then I got it later. Oh, goat! I get it. Eating the Quran. Christian Knight said, "Eat chapter 929." That is what I ate. Christian Knight, you got to go back. You got to go back a little. That is what I ate. Ray Jake says, challenging people to a fist fight over an intellectual argument is admitting to defeat. So if he wins, does it mean Allah is God in his mind? If you're, me won because Allah make me strong. It's got to be something like that. Mitul Panchal says, plural, diverse pagans suffered from all religions. That's true. Well, yeah, everyone has suffered from all kinds of things in this world. But you look and you say, there's something special about this Islam in terms of the suffering that it is foisting upon humanity. Fireblade didn't leave a comment. Ray Jakes, going back to what we were talking about earlier, says the difference is Jesus doesn't tell people to kill those who don't believe. That's true, and that is something else that seems fairly unique to Islam. All right, I think we got through the super chats. That was a lot. People really like that. We should just do live streams where we mess with the Quran, man. People love it.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, really.
All right.
It is. We needed to get it out. I hope the message got out. I hope the message really got out. There is no. I could sit here. I don't care. I don't care about these conventions. I don't care about these rules. I don't care about being respectful at all. I could rip up the Quran. I could use it for whatever I want. I don't care at all. And I have a personal issue with Islam and the Quran anyway. I can justify it. I don't care at all what anybody says. Give me a break. But I hope the point came across. The point that we are making. The point that I was making as I was ripping up the Quran. And I hope the Muslims who are outraged about this, I hope they take the videos and they show exactly what I said as I was ripping up the Quran and completely destroying it. I hope they show exactly what I said as I was destroying the Quran and making it disappear in front of your eyes. I hope they show that because that was the point. I will. This respects my right to exist, my life. People here who are representatives of this religion and of this ideology go out there and openly say that I should be killed, that I shouldn't have a right to live. And as long as that is accepted as normal, as long as they think they can do that, I will do this even further. I will do this even more, and I will enjoy this. And hear the sound of it, don't you? Like, I should do ASMR, like ripping apart the Quran ASMR with this. Hey, hear this.
For you, Hijab, take down the tweets. Take down the tweets. Take down the tweets.
Thank you so much.
we could just do this for our shows.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we can wrap up now. One last thing by Hatem's World says, David, talk to me. Born Muslim, want Jesus. Hatem, if you go to my YouTube channel, you go to my About section, there's a link there that you can click on to give you my email address. Go ahead and email me. And if you want to have a discussion, live, you can join us you can join me or me and Sam Shamoon and have a discussion about any questions you have, and we're happy to do that. So yeah, go ahead and send me an email. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. More where this came from. In the ongoing adventures of Muhammed Hijab. Any final advice, AP?
And Dawah. I would say thank you all so much. Thanks to the Dawah boys for making this possible. to that nobody ever sees the Islamic State that they would like to work for. Thanks everybody for being here. Thank you so much for your support. I hope you see what's going on. Thanks everybody, and stay away from Islam.
Catch y'all later.